Eddy County DWI Task Force, and Nancy Husselman is with us. Good morning to you.
Good morning. How's everybody today?
You know, everybody seems to be okay.
Well, that's good.
We've got a gaggle of salespeople down the hallway, so...
Oh, a gaggle?
A gaggle.
How many is a gaggle?
Not as many as a pride.
Oh. that was evading the question completely, wasn't it? Okay.
So,
next question.
Next question. You know, we're getting into the end of the school year, the start of summer.
Yes.
And
awesome.
A lot of folks are going to be getting the boats out. They're going to be getting the water skis out. They're going to be getting... I know jet ski is a brand name, but I guess whatever you call the watercraft, they're going to be out there going to Brantley Lake and other places around.
Yes.
And you've talked about it before, but we want to kind of start reminding folks, probably one of the worst times to be drinking a lot of alcohol is when you're at the lake or on the boat.
And in the heat.
And in the heat, that's right.
And other circumstances that surround it. And I was thinking about this morning before I came over, and I thought, we talk about drinking and driving on the boat and everything, and it happened, just kind of hit me, well, somewhere along the way they get that boat out of the water and they're driving down the road. Mm-hmm. And things happen, and we were just talking about other accidents, and I'm thinking, this year has been tragic for so many people. And so many different kinds of accidents and different things going on, people passing away from cancer and all this. This is a preventable death, 100% preventable. All you have to do is not drink and drive. It sounds so simple, but it seems to be hard to get it across to people that you're taking such a horrible chance with your life, with your family's life, with somebody else's life. Could you just not do it? I mean, the simple thing of when I drive in a parking lot and I see people out getting ready to go out and have fun and putting the alcohol in the boat or whatever, and I would just sit there and think, is that really necessary? Yeah, you might be having a good time, but all I hear about is when people are back in and they're having their big parties, everybody gets into a fight. Where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Well, and that's caused from the fact that alcohol is a depressant, and it doesn't make you happy. It makes you sad, it makes you mad, makes you get into fights, among other things.
Among other things. Well, especially, too, when you're out in the sun.
Yes.
You're dehydrated. So one of the worst things that you can consume when you're dehydrated are things like alcohol.
Yeah.
You should be drinking water.
You should be drinking lots of water.
Lots of water. And not alcohol. Coffee's another one that's terrible.
Yeah.
That as far as that's concerned. And then there are... You can be drunk boating. I mean, there are laws against that, too.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
If the Park Service or if the Sheriff's Department is out and about on holiday weekends and stuff like that, and you're getting too goofy out there on the water because you've been drinking too much, you can get a ticket for that. That's
you can get caught with a DWI real quick out there.
Yeah.
I've only been out on the boat maybe a couple of times, maybe 3 or 4 times, I don't know exactly, but some of the way they ski and they use their, whatever you call those, jet skis, whatever they are.
Right.
They're just flipping in and out and going everywhere, having a good time. There's zero chance of being quick enough if you're drinking, of missing one of them. And they're just out there having a good time, and that's probably somebody's kid that you're about to kill. I know that sounds really strong, and fortunately, excuse me, fortunately, I don't know of too many accidents that have been out there. But let's just keep it up. Let's not bring any more tragedy into our town, any more funerals. This is crazy.
Yeah.
It's something that is so 100% preventable.
And then you're right about the, you've been drinking all day out on the lake, and then you hook up the boat to the truck if you can,
If you can.
and then you hit the highway, and that's like, again, that's just such a bad decision to make,
Yes.
putting people at risk.
And those are decisions that you need to think about before you even go out to the lake.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the day I'm going to stay sober? Or is this the day, I'm going to go out and have a good time, throw back a few beers, whatever. It's no big deal. Well, it is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal to somebody that you might kill. Hey, that rhymes too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it is. It's a life-changing event. And what if it's your own child? Stop and think about it. It doesn't have to happen. And
So load up the coolers with water and other
yes,
similar type beverages, especially if you're going to spend a lot of time out on the water or in the sun.
yes.
And whoever is driving, when you leave the lake, they have to be the designated driver. They have to be someone that has not been consuming any alcohol while the party is going on there at the lake.
And it's preferably you get a designated driver that knows how to pull a boat. That helps
Well, that's
too.
true. That's true.
That's not always the easiest thing. So that's another thing you have to consider.
Yeah.
Is think it through. And for so long, it was just an accepted. Okay, we're going to go out. We're going to throw back a few beers and have fun out on the lake and all this kind of stuff. But we don't. Let's try not to do that this summer. Let's try to have an accident. Oh, accident. That's another word I was going to talk about.
Sure.
I would like for somebody to tell me what an accident means and if there is a true, real accident. Because when you really start thinking about it, it's usually a human-caused thing that happens.
Yeah.
And I don't consider DWI as an accident by any means whatsoever.
No, I think you're right. Let's see what happens when I do a search for word accidents. If I get a website, accident definition in Merriam-Webster. So according to Merriam-Webster,
Okay.
the definition of accident is 1A, an unforeseen and unplanned event or circumstance.
Okay.
B, lack of intention or necessity. They met by accident rather than by design. Definition 2, an unfortunate event resulting especially from carelessness or ignorance.
So that is carelessness is included in an accident.
I was involved in a traffic accident. B, medical, an unexpected and medically important bodily event, especially when injurious.
We'll leave that there.
Yeah. And then the third definition is a non-essential property or quality of an entity or circumstance. The accident of nationality.
Okay.
So, but I think accident lets some people off the hook.
I think it does too.
If you participate in an activity that can lead to a sequence of events that can result in a vehicle crash, if you will.
Yes.
Is that kind of where you're going with that?
Yes. And it's food for thought.
Yeah.
You know, just stop and think about it. And you're right. How many times do we just do something totally bizarre and end up getting hurt or something? And it was something that we already knew that the possibility was there to get ourselves hurt, and then we call it an accident.
Right.
No, it's not. Just like drinking and driving, when you get in that car and you start drinking, it's no longer going to be an accident.
You know, under the first definition, unforeseen and unplanned event or circumstance. Well, if you are drinking and driving, you should be able to foresee the potential
And it's
for an accident
definitely,
occurring.
in the broad sense, a planned. That's part of the plan. If that's what you're going to do, does
Yeah.
that make any sense?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
So And when we have people running up and down the road, lots of people, not only that, then like guns come out, all of these things start happening. And so it's just,
Yeah.
I just hope everybody has a really safe summer and nobody ends up over at the mortuary
Don't
or in
want
the
to.
hospital.
Yeah. Don't want to be. Don't want to have that happen. So
Don't.
do that. Well, you mentioned the boating in the lakes, and then we have graduations coming up
Yes.
all across the area, and
Yes.
that has been a long-standing debate. Are you somebody who thinks, well, they're going to do it anyway, so let's control the situation, or are you somebody that's like, you should not do this, I will not, I don't want you to do this, don't do this, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that you don't do this?
And I believe it deeply in my heart that that's the action that we should all take as adults.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take that, well, they're going to do it anyway. Well, maybe they won't do it if they don't have the opportunity to have it, and it takes an adult to get it for them. Let's think a little bit deeper about this. And I know I spent my past, 2 times here talking about kids,
Mm-hmm.
because I love them. And when an adult does something like this, it's what were you thinking?
Yeah.
You weren't thinking, number one, these kids get drunk a whole lot faster than an adult does. These kids have no real fear of the future, of their death or anything else. And here you are saying, here, let's just go in the house and do this. And that kid walks out and gets in his car and slams into a tree. I'm sorry, that's your fault.
Yeah.
The kid he shouldn't have done it. He should have known better. I understand all of that. But as an adult, you better know better. And then, like I've said several times before, I know I get on what is it called, a bandwagon, that just don't buy it for them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have it available for them, especially graduation's supposed to be a fun time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's keep it that way.
Yeah. How many graduations across the country over time have ended up in tragedy?
Far too many.
Yeah.
Far too many. Well, one is too many, but this far too many. And how many kids are involved if there's several kids in a car and they're partying. And I was in the hospital with a young lady that they were after a wedding, actually, and somebody rear-ended them that was drunk. And her boy, they were sitting in the back seat, and she literally went up the front seat and around, and leg first went through the back window. She's permanently crippled.
Yeah.
Her boyfriend had some severe head injuries that he was he was put in the hospital for probably the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm.
So see, that those people in that car had nothing to do with what was happening with the drunk kids that were leaving a party that were underage, hit the back of their car. Those kids that was in the car didn't get hurt,
Mm-hmm.
but they hurt someone else severely.
Yeah.
And the young lady that I met so many awesome people when my different hospital visits, but she was going through something like her 30th surgery.
Wow.
On her legs and her back. So it's, you never know. You
Yeah.
just don't know. And all of us innocent people just driving down the road, minding our own business, would just as soon not end up in the hospital because you made a bad decision.
Yeah. Well, and it's going to be impossible to eliminate all
Yes.
wrecks and accidents, but you can certainly cut down on the number and stop putting yourself and other people at a higher risk of
Yes.
severe injury or death from your actions when it comes to drinking and
Yeah,
driving.
you can drink at home. I mean, you don't have to get in a vehicle. You can just take care of that business at home and stay there.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science.
No, it's not. That's for sure.
I just encourage everybody that let's all have a good summer. Let's have a pain-free accident-free, whatever, summer as best we can.
Yeah. So don't be a participant in the illegal access to alcohol at graduation time. And when you're getting the boat out and getting ready to go out on the water, whether it's Brantley Lake or wherever you're taking the family,
Yes.
water. Just bring water.
Yes.
Lots and lots of water, because you need to
Yes.
hydrate, especially after being in the heat and the wind and the sun. And that way you are in a better shape when it comes time to hitch up to the truck and head back to the house or the campsite or wherever it is that you're going back to.
And if you have
You got all your faculties with you.
if your children are there, think about them. They're
Example.
far more important than that can of beer.
Yeah, and the example that you're setting for
Yes.
the kids.
Absolutely.
Nancy, is there anything else we want to mention today?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that's pretty much covers it.
Well, we'll have you back here in a couple of weeks as we
Yes.
get closer to the first big summer weekend event of
We'll
the year.
see what's going on.
All right. That's it